Welcome to Behind the Badge, our program where your police department brings information to you. I am John Manley, the police chief of the city of Rocky Mount, and certainly I'm just glad to be here today to share some information that I think is important for our community to understand. Today on our program, we will have a number of our employees who will come and share information pertaining to their particular work area. But up front, I want to certainly thank our city manager, Mr. Stephen Raper, our current city manager, Mr. Charles Penny, and our city council for their continuous support of our police department. Much has been talked about over the time now about crime and what's the status of our community, certain things going on, how crime is captured, or just the numbers are real of what we're reporting. What I want to try to share today is to give a historical perspective of the last 5 years or so, to see where we are and let the general public know exactly what it is that we are doing. We have, I think, one of the greatest police departments in the state of North Carolina. The men and women are very talented. They love what they do, and we all work as a team. A coin I've been using lately is that no one of us is as smart as all of us. You'll see that demonstrated throughout this broadcast today, where we rely heavily on each other. So with me today, I have our crime analyst for the city, Mr. Bill Matthews, and I want Bill to, again, to just thank Bill for being here, but have Bill to tell us some, just to an audience, some things about himself, perhaps your background. And so, Bill, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Chief. I'm a native of Rocky Mount. Went to East Carolina University, graduated from there, came to the police department in August of '79, spent 31 and a half years here. 27 plus have been as the crime analyst. Me and my wife attend First Baptist Church.
Okay, so First Baptist Church. And Bill, like I said, been in the city in the crime analyst for over 27 years. You've been in the city 31 plus years, is that right?
Yes, sir.
31 years, that's a lot of time for one particular place.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But Bill, as the crime analyst for the city, exactly what is it that you do, if you don't mind sharing that with us? What types of things do you do as a crime analyst?
Well, I collect information off of data sources from the patrol division, also criminal investigation division, such as offense reports, arrest reports. Try to look at those and look at patterns and trends that are happening for certain selected crimes that we look at.
Okay. All right. And that data, once it's collected, what do you do with it? What's the time frame that you do certain things with that information?
I normally look at them daily as far as some of the offense reports. I produce reports to the divisions to help them better utilize their personnel to do directed patrols, look at hot spots in the city where we're having trouble. So I produce those reports either ad hoc or weekly.
Okay. All right. And then and that certainly serves a useful purpose. And just how often do supervisory staff, district commanders come to you seeking information about their particular districts?
They come weekly, sometimes daily, looking for information to look at patterns and problems in their districts or beats. So they come fairly often. Fairly often,
okay. And I'm assuming, Bill, over the last several years, your workload has increased dramatically from demand internally as well as externally?
Yes, sir. The number of reports and the number of requests we get has increased quite a bit.
Okay. All right. And so we hear a lot of talk about crime, and when the state releases a report about crime in a particular area, what are they truly capturing? What is it that they're releasing back to the general public?
They're basically looking at certain Part 1 crime offenses that we collect and send to the state. And the Part 1 offenses would be homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, which are the violent crimes. Then property crime classifications are larceny, burglary, and also motor vehicle theft.
Okay. So basically then the Part 1 offenses is what the state reports, but it's also, you said that's broken out into 2 categories, a violent crime category as well as a property crime category.
Yes, sir. That's
okay.
Correct.
Now give me what the violent crime category is again.
The violent crime categories would be homicide, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault.
Okay. And property crime category is?
Burglary, larceny, and motor vehicle theft.
Okay. All right. And so when we start hearing about crime rate decreasing, increasing, they're actually looking at those categories. They're not looking at any of the other types of offenses per se in a general city's general jurisdiction. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
So all your information is obtained directly from offense reports, reports that's created by our officers when they respond to call for service.
Yes, sir, that's correct. They will write a report. It will be submitted to our records division. From the records division, there's a number of people who review the reports for accuracy and try to best categorize them by the IBR standards or guidelines that we have.
Okay. All right. And I think one thing here, Bill, is important to note that you've been doing this for 27 years. And so obviously you have seen some things that could easily suggest a trend in our general area or a trend across the state. But if you just talk about what you see as a trend of crime, what's been our most, I would say the thing that's most reoccurring that may keep our crime rate in a particular area, what has been that particular crime categories?
If you look at the violent crimes, aggravated assault surely are some of the ones, that's the category that kind of keeps those numbers high.
Okay. Now what's an aggravated assault?
Aggravated assault would be if it was an injury involved or if there is a weapon of some sort involved with the assault. That would be classified as an aggravated assault for UCR purposes. All
right. And that is where people are actually assaulting one another. And usually that is a person who has some familiarity with themselves. Is that correct?
There, more than likely, you would probably find some familiarity with the suspect to victim relationship.
Okay, so aggravated assaults, one area. What's next?
If you look at the property crimes, we've had a decrease in property crimes over the last 6 years. Right. Larcenies have been down substantially, so that has a tendency to help the numbers go down or the decrease.
Okay. Yes. And one of the things, Bill, I think when you and I talked recently was if we looked at the last 5 years, and the reason I'm using the 5 years is basically most of my tenure has been as chief of police. Certainly I can go back my whole 27 or 28 years here as well. But what we've seen, obviously, is violent crime has increased over time, with a slight decrease in the last 2 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there are a number of factors we know that played into that. Our agency, is one of the things we talked about earlier, was we have not always had the staffing level that we have today. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
We also know that we have a greater community support today than we've had before.
Greater involvement with the community to report things and let us know what's going on to where we can better react to it.
And then we talked briefly and shared with staff that one of the things we're seeing is a very, very proactive stance from with a collaboration with federal agencies, the state and local courts, again, taking certain individuals through the court system that need to go, that has been repeat offenders. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That also helps our numbers.
Exactly. Now, last year, 2010 over 2009, could you tell what your crime reports from internally has shown so far?
Internally, we've shown a 2.9 decrease in the violent crimes and a 12% decrease in the property crimes. Yes. And overall about 11%, 10.7% decrease in overall Part 1 offenses.
That's right. So significant decrease, over the last year, 2010 over 2009. We had certain spikes in certain things, obviously, but there has been a significant decrease from 2010 to 2009. We had a goal, and I don't know if you're quite familiar with the goal, but that goal was to reduce Part 1 offenses by 15%. We fell a little short of that. But the truth of the matter is the men and women worked very hard, and all of us collectively worked very hard with this community to see that we do have the results that we're reporting today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, Bill, what would be, I would say, some last comments that you would like to make to our general public about crime reporting, how you capture that information? Anything you would like to share in closing?
In closing, I would like to say that, for incident-based reporting, or UCR, or uniform crime reporting, it is a collaborative effort by the department to make sure that the crimes are categorized right based on the guidelines that the federal government has set down or has given to us. So that's one of the things I would like them to understand and know, that we try to categorize them based on their classifications.
Okay. All right, well, Bill, I certainly want to thank you for being here this morning and sharing information. To let you also know, as I said earlier, you are one of the most valuable employees that we have. Certainly your integrity is intact. You do things that you're supposed to do for our city and capture information and disseminate it to the proper place. So again, just thank you for your service to our city. And